Welcome back. We are working with racks within Ableton Live. DJ Vic Vapor with you. We're going to go on to lesson 8, and we're going to look at what I feel is one of the most powerful features of developing and creating racks and experimenting with racks. So we talked about, of course, the use of macro controls on a third party. I'm using the APC 40 image here just for an example, but assigning and mapping macros and things like that. Well, it gets pretty interesting when we look at it from this point of view. So let's push the chain selection here. We did key, velocity, chain. Now the chain selector is essentially a way to turn on and off each individual layer of our rack by selecting what sound we want within what range. And we do that by using these guys here. So you can see as I grab that and pull out, it's assigning it to different numeric values right there. So we can use our little distribute equally feature where we can pull this guy out, say somewhere in here, and hover over this one, pull it out. Let's move it over. And then last but not least, this guy. And then we can come out here somewhere and right click, distribute equally. Well, I guess we need to cover more space to get that to equally distribute. There we go. And again, just like in the previous lessons, we still have the fade tool or fade feature right above this, which allows us a little bit more range when working through what sounds will play. Now we don't have to divide every sound. I mean, the bottom one can play continuously and the top two can fade back and forth. That's a choice you can decide on, whatever sounds or whatever your production techniques want to be. So now as I move the selector, it's only going to play, each individual one as it fades between them. So what we can do though is I can hit the map button, highlighted green here. We'll select that and we'll map it to macro 4. And the important thing here is I left the chain selector all the way to the left so that we get, the full value here from 0 to 127. So let's go ahead and hit our clip and then scroll through that and see what kind of sounds we can create. Oh, well. For a minute there, I wasn't sure why we were getting sound, but because the sine wave is such a low, set so low, we're not going to hear it in this particular example. But as we move the chain selector, we begin to fade between the sounds. And again, I'm working with a specific clip here. If I was using a keyboard, I could probably get a little bit better examples going for us. Let me see what I can do to give us some more notes to work with. So you hear how each individual sound is being affected by where we're at in the chain selector. And this, of course, can be automated or assigned to your MIDI controller and allow you to manipulate the sound a little bit further along with other effects that you've set up here. And you can begin to really, develop and get a lot of unique sounds and effects out of the rack, and you start to see the power of what you're able to create here. So let's go ahead and move on to our next lesson and continue to explore working with racks.